Hi, I'm Meg from Evolution Power Yoga and Evolution Go, and this is a 30-minute yoga nidra. So you'll need a yoga mat and probably a yoga block, either made out of foam or cork, and some space to practice. Let's get started. We have Jess here demoing. She's already started in child's pose. So we'll start there, in child's pose, with your fingertips spread out nice and wide on the mat and your hips settled back on your heels. Take a few deep breaths here, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just giving yourself the opportunity to reset. Breath in, breath out. Take one more breath in like that. A full exhale out. And let your breathing go back to a steady, rhythmic breath. If you choose to do the Ujjayi breath, which is a long inhale with a pause and a long exhale with the pause, you're more than welcome to, but it's not mandatory. Walk your hands to the left side of your mat and stretch out the side of your body. Get a good long stretch from your right fingertips through your right shoulder all the way back to your right hip. Take a breath or two here. And walk your hands to the opposite side of your mat. Get your forehead in just the right place, your fingertips spread out nice and wide so you can connect to the earth. A few breaths here. Walk your hands back to center. And take downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back so you're in an upside down letter V. You might find that you need to pedal at your feet or shake out your head. Take whatever movement you need to get situated in this downward facing dog shape. Send your hips way up and back to where the wall and ceiling meet behind, and keep a softness in your knees so the backs of your thighs can stretch out. Now walk your feet up to your hands and hang in ragdoll. Pull the pit of your belly way in and up and let the whole lower part of your back expand and stretch out. Press down through the four corners of both of your feet, especially your big toe mounds and the centers of both of your heels. Now rise all the way up to standing, extended mountain. Reach up through your fingertips, up to the ceiling. Forward fold, drape down to the floor. Halfway lift, lengthen out your spine and pause. Get your hands on your thighs or down on your shins with a long, flat spine. Take one more breath in here. Place your hands on the mat and lower your knees for a modified chaturanga, a low lunge. Lower yourself all the way to the mat. Set up for cobra. Just your heart and chest off the floor. Tops of your feet stay connected to the mat. Downward facing dog. Press your hips up and back. Take 3 breaths here. In, full exhale. Good, 2 more like that. Breath in, breath out. Last one, fill up. Full breath out. Walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Fold down, drape to the floor. Extended mountain, rise all the way up. Reach through your fingertips. Forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. High push up. Lower your knees and lower all the way to the mat. Cobra, lift your chest. Downward facing dog, press back. Take a full breath in. Big exhale out. 2 more, full breath. Press your fingers down on your exhale. Good, last one, in. Full exhale out. Move forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Fold down. One more sun A like this. Rise up to standing and reach. Forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen. High push up. Drop your knees and lower all the way to the mat. Cobra, lift your chest. Downward facing dog, press back. 3 breaths here. In, breath out. Full breath in. Big exhale. Last one, fill up. Fully exhale. Walk forward, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold down. Chair pose. We'll do one sun salutation B. So sink down into your chair. Let your legs and your hips get a little bit warm. Take one more breath here. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High push up. Drop the knees. Lower to the mat. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot between your hands for warrior one. So you'll come into a low lunge in the front leg. Let the back edge of your back foot come down towards the mat. Pause here for a breath or two. Set your eyes on one fixed point in front of you and let your feet connect to the floor. One more breath to reach up to the ceiling, then hands to the mat and step back. High plank, lower the knees, lower all the way to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your left foot between your hands, warrior one on this side. Whole back edge of your foot down into the mat, heart light and lifted up toward the ceiling. Plug your front big toe mount straight down into the floor. One more breath in, high to low push up. Drop your hands, lower the knees, and lower to the mat. Upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. 3 big breaths here. In, exhale it out. Yeah, clear it through your mouth if you need to. Breath in, breath out. Last one, fill up. Exhale completely. Walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, lengthen, fold down. Chair pose, just one breath this time. Reach, forward fold. Halfway lift, high push up, drop the knees, and lower to the floor. Upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Modified crescent lunge. Step your right foot between your hands. Let your back knee come down to the ground. So you've got the option to have your toes tucked or untucked on that back foot, whatever feels best. And then place both palms on the top of your right thigh. Again, you set your gaze right at one spot in front of you. Root down through the big toe mount on your front foot. Really anchor that down into the floor. Nidra is different from a regular style vinyasa where there's still a sense of flow, but we like to keep things low and connected to the ground. So there's a sense of stability and groundedness to the entire practice. Now go from this modified crescent lunge to Ardha Hanumanasana, a half split. Shift your hips back. You can place your hands on your hips, or if you have a yoga block, you can rest your hand on some yoga blocks, toes pointed up to the ceiling. Now we'll flow back and forth between these a few times here. Bend your knee, modified crescent, lift your chest. Ardha Hanuman, shift the hips back and straighten the front leg. Good, toes up to the ceiling. Come forward, bend your knee, heart up. Come on back, Ardha Hanuman, toes up to the ceiling. We'll do that one more time. Bend your knee, come forward, lift. Shift your hips back, straighten the leg. Good, step that foot back. High push up with your knees on the floor and lower to the ground. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, press back. Time for the left side. Step your left foot between your hands, modified crescent lunge. So you adjust the back foot however it seems best, most stable. Then work the 4 corners of that front foot straight down into the mat. Modified crescent for the first one. Hands on your front thigh, gaze set to one point. If your breath got away from you, just let that steady rhythm of breath come right back into your practice. Ardha Hanuman, straighten your front legs, send your hips toward the back edge of your mat. This could be a little tricky if you're not used to that transition, so just take your time moving forward and back. Come forward, modified crescent, lift the chest, lift the pit of your low belly. Then shift back, hips back, toes up to the ceiling, a long straight front leg. 2 more times like that. Bend the knee, modified crescent, lift. Hips come back, sink down, Ardha Hanuman. Good, 1 more. Knee comes forward, connect the foot. Shift your hips back, Ardha Hanuman. Beautiful, hands to the mat and step back, lower to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. Big exhale out. Right side triangle pose. Step your right foot between your hands. Let the back edge of your back foot come down to the floor. So you can set your bottom hand either on your shin or on a yoga block just outside your shin. Send your left hand straight up to the sky and stretch your limbs out. Feet firmly connected to the ground, top hand reaching up toward the ceiling. We'll take a few breaths here. In through your nose, exhale through your nose. 2 more. Breath in, breath out. Feet into the ground. 1 more inhale. A full exhale. Rise up and turn both of your feet to face the long edge of your mat. Hands on your hips. We'll set up for some ninja lunges. Hinge down. Bring your hands down to the floor. Bend your right knee and sink into your right hip. Get some space around the hip, into the leg, then over to the left side. Bend your left knee and sink into your left hip. And then you'll just move side to side here, creating some space in your legs and in your hip joints. You move at your own pace, and you decide if you'd like to have your hands stay on the floor for more support, or if you'd like to bring your hands up and create more of a challenge. That's up to you. We'll do 1 more time on each side to get complete. And then you'll come right into center, feet firmly planted on the earth. Press down and rise up. Take Namaste, front facing forward fold. So a baby warrior 1 stance in your feet, hands on your hips. Square your hips to the front edge of your mat. Then hinge forward, bring your chest down to your shins. And again, bring your awareness down into the 4 corners of both of your feet, especially those big toe mounts. Get them down into the floor. Take 1 more breath here. Then high to low. Plant your palms and step back. Knees to the mat, lower to the floor. Cobra or upward facing. Downward facing dog. Now left side triangle. Step your left foot between your hands. If you've got that block on the outside of your leg or on your shin, if that's where you need it to go, top hand up toward the ceiling. So you're really going for a balance here in triangle pose between having the feet connected to the floor and the top half of your body reaching and expressing up toward the ceiling. 2 more breaths here. In, big exhale. Good. 1 more in. Fully exhale, rise up to standing. Turn both feet to face the long edge of your mat, hands on your hips. Hinge forward. We're just working the fold here, so hands down towards the mat. Soften your knees a lot. Give your hamstrings some space to work with. Just the classic fold where you can let your head face down towards the floor. You can shake out your neck left and right. Let it be heavy and stable. Then press into your feet. Rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing fold. This time with the left foot straight forward. Hands start on your hips. Square the hips best you can. Hinge forward. If you need to, you've got the option to lift the back heel, to soften 1 or both of your knees. Customize the pose so that it works best for you. Take 1 more breath in here. Hands to the mat and step back. High to low. Drop the knees, lower all the way down. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Make your way through to a seat and come down onto your back for reclined pigeon. So you'll make your legs into a figure 4. Your right leg over your left thigh, then flex the ankle. Flex your right ankle and press your left foot into the floor. This is step 1. You can stay right here if you've got enough information going on in your hip, or you can lift your left foot off the floor so your shin comes closer towards your chest. So you customize how far forward or how far down you need the leg to allow the hip joint to start to open up. Hands can stay on your belly, or you can have a hand on your thigh to gently press the leg away. Make sure that you've got that right palm on the thigh instead of on the knee to let the hip open up. We'll take a few breaths here. In, big exhale. Good, 2 more. In, empty out. Last breath. Fully exhale. And switch sides. Left side reclined pigeon. Left leg crosses over the right, just like a figure 4. Flex both of your ankles. Spread your toes and bring them awake. Then you decide, you keep the foot on the floor, lift it up and bring your left shin closer towards your chest. And it'll vary from day to day. So some days it may feel best to keep the foot on the floor. Other days you'll have more room and can bring it closer towards your chest. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Big exhale. 1 more. Fully exhale. Both feet on the mat. Happy baby is the next pose. Soles of the feet up to the sky. You've got 2 different options with this pose. You can grab the edges of your calves or backs of your thighs, or if you've got the range of flexibility, the edges of your feet up toward the ceiling. So you can stay right here in stillness and pull your thighs, your lower back down towards the floor, or you can rock side to side and get the whole back of the pelvis on the mat. So you create whatever movement or stillness you need here to get the full expression of the pose. We'll be here for a breath or 2 to give your low back the opportunity, the tailbone the opportunity to settle down towards the floor. 3 more. In, exhale. 2 more breaths. In and out. Last one. In. Fully exhale, let go of your feet or the backs of your thighs. Waterfall is the next pose. So you'll take your yoga block for this one as well and place that right underneath your pelvis, probably on the long flat side to give your hips a little bit of a boost and send your legs up to the sky. You might find that putting a cushion on top of the block is also helpful for you so that you've got more of a soft surface area for your low back. Hands can go wherever they feel comfortable. Just stay right here and let everything drain out. We'll be here for about a minute. So you put your attention on your breath and let everything drain from your feet, down your legs, back down to your heart. So the next time you're upright, they'll be replaced with fresh blood, fresh energy, ready to go. Flex your ankles. Yeah, bring some awareness into your toes. You might find that there's a tingling happening in your legs or that your legs start to shake a little bit. That's fine. You just stay right here in this pose. Let everything drain out. Notice if you're clenching your jaw, soften that, or maybe you've got your shoulders hunched up a little bit away from the floor. Let those relax down to the floor. So we're slowly making our way towards the Nidra part of this Yoga Nidra practice where there's more stillness, calmness, and a groundedness to the practice. Take 1 more breath here. Full exhale out. Move the block out of the way. Let your low back come to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a squeeze. Supine twist. Drop your knees to the left. Twist and look towards the right. So you might find that putting a block or a cushion underneath your raised knee is helpful, or even tucking your top foot behind your bottom knee for added support. This twist is all about letting gravity do the work, so let the weight of your body just settle down towards the floor rather than trying to force the twist to happen. Supine twist the opposite way. Drop the knees. Twist and look. Let your gaze land on one physical point. Set them right there and keep them right there. It's that one final twist to let your body settle in, wring out any last bit of things that aren't serving you to get them out of the way. Then Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Let your knees drop out like an open book. Your hands can rest on your thighs, down by the mat, wherever they feel comfortable. Pick a spot at the ceiling to set your gaze. Two more breaths here. In and out. One more breath in. Clearing exhale. Draw your knees back together. Hug them into your chest. Give them one final squeeze. Then Shavasana, corpse pose. Let your legs go long on your mat. Let your arms stretch out long by your sides. You might find that laying flat on the floor may be a little uncomfortable after a while, so you might get a bolster or some couch pillows to put underneath your knees for added support, or you could bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor and let your knees tilt together in towards center. So you set up the Shavasana in a way that you can maintain stillness and make an adjustment if you need to. Gently close your eyes. Let your breath slow down. Let it come to your regular breath, full inhales and full exhales, with no need to focus on any particular style of breath, just letting that air flow. So you start with that asana, that movement in the beginning, to start to clear stuff out of the way and make space for stillness to be possible. And now in Shavasana, you get that opportunity to soak everything up deep into the center of your body. So a sense of rest, a sense of groundedness, a sense of stillness can happen. So while we're in Shavasana, I'll take you through a body scan meditation. There's nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to adjust or move. You'll stay here in Shavasana, and I'll walk you through it. Start at the crown of your head. Bring your attention to the crown of your head. And you're just scanning through, picturing in your mind's eye, piece by piece, as I walk you through. Let the crown of your head relax. The whole top of your head and your scalp relaxes and softens. And bring your awareness to your face. Allow your forehead to soften. Let your eyes settle back into your eye sockets. Allow the muscles around your cheekbones and your temples to soften. Bring the awareness to your jaw. Let your jaw be soft. And allow your tongue to soften away from the roof of your mouth. Let it be easy. Let your awareness move to your neck and your throat. Let all the bones in your neck soften. Any tension that you've got in the sides of your neck or the tops of your shoulders, let that melt away. And bring your awareness to your upper back and the top part of your chest. Allow the skin, the muscles right along the top of your chest to soften and be easy. And any tension in your upper back between your shoulder blades to melt down into the floor. Let that awareness make its way through the heads of your shoulders as they melt down to the floor too. Let that ease travel down through your upper arms. The soft joints of your elbows. Your forearms, your wrists, hands, fingers, and fingertips. Let your entire arms be soft and grounded on the mat. Now bring your awareness to the middle of your torso, the middle of your back. Let those two places soften. Let the muscles relax and sink to the floor. Then your low belly and your low back. Places where we often hold a lot of tension, let those soften and melt down towards the floor. And move the awareness to the bones of your pelvis, your pelvic bowl, your hips. Let those be heavy and settle to the floor. Shift the awareness to your thighs, your hamstrings on the backs of your thighs. Let those muscles be soft. Let them sink deep towards the bone. Bring that sense of ease to your soft knee joints, soft, relaxed, pliable, and heavy down towards the floor. Move your awareness to your shins and your calves, heavy and grounded on the mat, soft and easy. And move your attention to your ankles. Let your ankle bones be soft, the muscles around them soft and relaxed. And down into your feet. Let the arches of your feet soften and relax. Allow the bones in your feet to settle deep and still. Bring the awareness to your toes and let each one of your toes be soft. Let your entire body be grounded and rested on your mat. And start to deepen your breath. More air in on your inhales, more complete exhales. Bring some movement back into your fingertips and your toes. Gently rock your head left and right to wake up your neck. And draw your knees into your chest and rock onto your left side. Take a moment to pause, to thank yourself for showing up and giving your body the opportunity to rest. Bring your palms to heart center. One more breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Then bring your thumb knuckles to forehead center. And together we bow and say, Namaste.